ritual of Kevin Garnett, the rosin in honor of Michael Jordan, what he used to do to Johnny Red Kerr in Chicago before the games, and go over and tap his heart for all of his friends. Today's his 28th birthday. What a wonderful gift it would be for him. And again, to look at Sam Cassell, 3 of 16 the last 5 games from the three-point line. He's struggling getting lift on his shot, and I guarantee you Sacramento is going to test him defensively here early to see how well he's moving.
Game 7 records all time for the Kings franchise, and the first ever 7th game. The Timberwolves played a 5th and deciding game back in '98 in the first round against the Seattle Supersonics. Our officials tonight: Dick Bavetta, Bennett Salvatore, and Tom Washington, a veteran crew. And it's Cassell in Minnesota with it first. Garnett faced with Weber. And Sprewell with Trenton Hassel coming off an 0 of 6 game in Sacramento on Sunday. A Weber rebound. Doug Christie.
And you see the matchups. Sam Cassell will play Doug Christie. They're going to take Mike Bibby, let him move without the basketball a little bit. They did this in Game 6 to get him some shots off screens to start the game.
And Mike Bibby with the first Sacramento shot. Garnett with the rebound.
Kevin Garnett has to clean the backboard tonight. 4 of his top 5 rebounding games of all time have come against the Sacramento Kings. 25 in one game this year.
Shot clock is at 8 for Garnett.
And I can tell you, for Kevin Garnett, that feels good. Remember in Game 1 here, he was so amped up when he won the MVP shot. 6 of 21 with 6 turnovers. Sacramento won in here tonight. He knows he has to perform.
And Bibby's got to perform for Sacramento, but he turns it over right there. Here comes Garnett. Kings back on defense. Sam Cassell.
Kevin, in big games, turnovers, missed free throws, mistakes. Those are the things that beat you. The team that does the better jobs in those areas tonight will win.
Urban Johnson is on Vlade Divac. And the 36-year-old center for the Kings puts Sacramento on the board. With this short bench, Doug, they've got a lot of things on their mind, the Kings do tonight, how they're going to manage the time of these players.
Well, Rick Adelman is going to have to use his substitutions in a way to get guys rest, where he can keep them on the floor the maximum minutes and still get rest for them so they can be fresh to finish this game.
Sprewell tried to put it into coverage, and here comes Bibby. First Minnesota turnover. Doug Christie. And look at Divac, out-duel Garnett, and here is Bibby open for 3. And so Mike Bibby has started the game 0 of 2. Cassell leaning into Stojakovic and a Bibby rebound.
Sam leaned in to create the contact. That's why there's no whistle on that play.
Sacramento has started 1 of 4 from the field. And Divac over Urban Johnson.
Those are the shots I talked about in the open. The big men are going to have open jump shots. Vlade, Brad Miller, Chris Webber. They need to shoot a high percentage for Sacramento to win.
Here comes Cassell, who's hit only 1 3-point shot since Game 1. Garnett. Sprewell for 3.
Cannot make those kind of plays on the road in a big game. Keep it simple. Make the simple pass. Those kind of plays give you extra possessions. If you're Minnesota at home, that's what you're looking for.
There's a turnover story as the Timberwolves have started the game 2 of 6 from the floor. And Cassell, Divac came over with a flash of defense, and the shot clock is at 3. Weber with the rebound.
You can see Sam, they're not very mobile, very stiff with that move. And if he's going to over dribble and play like that, he's going to get his team in trouble. He's going to have to move that basketball.
Weber with a nice pass into Divac. And here comes Cassell. Sprewell, who has averaged over 30 points the last 2 games. Divac the rebound. The Kings are +1 in that category. Christie, who will play some point tonight when Bibby rests. And here comes Bibby in the lot of white jerseys. Another turnover.
You really see Sam Cassell really laboring right now to get up and down the floor. It's going to be interesting to see how long he can go. But he didn't even get across half court on that play. And I think that Rick Adams is going to say, we need to talk about this. We're careless. We're sloppy. We've got a chance to have the lead, and we're turning the ball over.
Take us inside the head of Kevin Garnett right now. What is he going through?
You know, Kevin, it's very interesting that you bring up that I had the same passion as Kevin Garnett. But the challenge tonight is, can he harness and channel all that energy and emotion better than Game 1? Also, you have to add in mind, today marks the anniversary of the death of his best friend, Malik Sealy. And Kevin and Doug, if he can harness all this energy, and a win tonight would only solidify why he is one of the top 3 players in the world.
This is where MVPs are defined, Doug, in the playoffs.
And absolutely. And you know what? He doesn't have to do it by scoring 30-plus points. 20-plus points, 20 rebounds, the assists, the block shots, all the intangibles he brings. When he tries to score too much, sometimes he turns the ball over and shoots a lower percentage. So he's a guy that can dominate the game in so many different ways, and his teammates feed off of everything that he does, Kevin.
Irvin Johnson just picked up a quick foul for the Timberwolves. Here's Divac again. And Peja Stojakovic, who has been cold in these playoffs, continues that way. Sprewell with the rebound.
Well, Trenton Hassel's done a great job getting a hand in his face. That's the reason he's shooting so poorly. Every shot is contested.
A lot of nervous energy in this game.
And that's what you would expect. That's why they're not shooting well, and there's a lot of turnovers. They'll settle down.
It's Johnson from point-blank range. Twice he has a shot at it. Minnesota has missed their last 7 shots of the game.
Now watch the last part of this play. He gets a hand. He gets beat on the, but watch him get up a hand in the face. Your percentage goes down about 20% when you get a hand on a contested shot. That's how important it is to get a hand up on a very good shooter.
He's shooting 37% is Stojakovic in this series against Minnesota. The ball rotation to Hassel and across the lane and out to Kevin Garnett. Garnett looks sharp. He has started 2 of 3.
Well, I like what Hassel did there. He didn't settle for the long-range shot. He dribble penetrated. I think Minnesota's taken too many threes in this series. They're not a big three-point shooting team. 10 during the regular season, over 17. They've got to get to the line more. And
they're going up against the #1 three-point shooting team in the regular season. Some dancing by Weber, counted for 2. His first 2 of the game. KG picks up the foul. And that breaks somewhat of a drought for the Sacramento Kings from the field.
Well, good footwork here by Chris Webber, and he has to use shot fakes. Kevin Garnett is a shot blocker. Chris Webber does not have great lift now. And if you take a look at his legs, Kevin, he has a little bit of a sleeve he's wearing on his left leg, and on his right leg, he got a bruised calf in Game 5, and he's wearing something on his right calf, so his legs are not right at this moment.
A terrific shot by Sam Cassell.
He loves to take smaller players down into the post. Early offense, loves to get down there, shoot this little fading jump shot. Looked much better on that shot. Looked like he had more lift than we've seen here early in the game. And maybe as the game goes on, he will settle in and his back will loosen up. But Kevin, a lot of nerves right now. Sam Cassell has 2 championship rings with Houston. Latrell Sprewell played in the NBA Finals with New York. They have big game experience to help in moments like this.
Well, Doug, I got to believe with the bad back that affects his shot. His legs as he tries to get some elevation. Christie taking it inside.
Now, see, this is what Sam's got to stay away from. He's been very emotional the last few games. He's fouled out of 2 of the last 3. He had 5 fouls in the other game. He had a couple technical fouls. He's got to stay away from this tonight. They need him to play with passion, but to play smart.
It's Stojakovic. Back out to Divac. They got a first 24-second shot clock. Weber, nice screen for Mike Bibby. Rebound by Sam Cassell. Sacramento is 2 of 10 shooting tonight. Garnett.
Now Kevin shooting the ball with great rhythm. He hit his first shot on the floor. He stepped out, hit 2 open jump shots. Really in a nice rhythm.
And Divac fumbling it away. Out of bounds he goes. That's 4 Sacramento turnovers in this game.
See, this is why you play all season long to get the home court. Moments like this, Sacramento in Game 6 was flawless with their passing. They moved the ball. They hit the open man. They shot 50% from the floor, 56% from 3. You can already see here, being on the road here, how they are disjointed here early in this game.
So Brad Miller comes in for the first time, and Divac will sit. Remember the short Sacramento bench with the Anthony Peeler suspension. They kick it to Sprewell, who's picked up by Christie. Shot clock at the point. And inside, it's Weber. Assawan Stojakovic. One of the big adjustments Minnesota made in this series, putting Sprewell on Bibby and Christie for 3.
Again, the penetration. Bibby did a nice job. He took his dribble. He let the big man come off the pick and roll, and then he continued into the lane. Cassell once again in the lane. Both the point guards now really get into a rhythm here early in this game.
Reminds me of Game 1 in this series. And Miller to Christie again. 2 in a row.
Well, he's capable of having big nights. We know that. He's hit some critical shots in this series. Remember, at the end of Game 1, hit a big 3-point shot to help seal the deal here for Sacramento.
His shooting statistics aren't very good, Christie's, but his numbers, his production is. Hassel with the later right to Stojakovic.
Open mid-range jumper, getting the ball into the heart of the defense, and Garnett finding the open man.
Bibby is 0 of 2. Christie intercepted by Kevin Garnett. 5 Sacramento turnovers. Sprewell. Also got it. And a Kings foul inside.
That's when Latrell Sprewell is his most dangerous. When you get into open court situations where he can use his speed. We saw it here in Game 5 when he was playing at a different level than anybody else on the floor. We saw it in Game 6. Tonight he's gotten off to a slow start, but he must keep attacking.
Madsen comes in. Irvin Johnson is out, so they lessen their size a bit, but they sure get a lot of defensive hustle and energy with Madsen.
Well, they got to keep him off the offensive boards. That's what he does best.
Sprewell, Hassel with the offensive rebound.
Hustle plays. Second shot.
And the Timberwolves have their biggest lead tonight.
Well, when we talked to Rick Adelman before the game, this is exactly what he didn't want to have happen. His team dig a hole here in the first period.
Sacramento 4 of 12. Chris Webber. How do you see Webber fitting into tonight in the context of this offense and the severity of this game?
He's a catch and shoot player now, so he's going to depend so much on guys getting him open shots in rhythm.
And Cassell continues his hot streak, 4 of 6. And Sam Cassell with the game-high 9 points.
Well, he's gone away from that 3. He's in the mid-range game now where all of a sudden he's getting the better lift on his shot rather than shooting the ball so deep on the floor.
And Stojakovic with Hassel on him, and a quick hand check on Trenton Hassel. His first.
Timeout situation when he goes to the bench. He's wearing these wires that are padded up and they hook up the machine. It's an electrical stimulator to try to keep the spasms down in his back. I can tell you from personal experience, the more the ball goes in the basket, the less that back hurts.
Timberwolves, Doug, have taken 7 more shots from the field than Sacramento.
Well, they've got 20 shots at the basket, 13 for Sacramento. The more shots at the basket, the better chance of winning. 5 turnovers already for Sacramento and 4 offensive rebounds from Minnesota. They're more aggressive.
Neither team made a move after that timeout as Kevin Garnett vacuums in his 4th rebound tonight. And Cassell with the game-high 9. Timberwolves are shooting 45%, hitting 7 of their last 10 shots.
It's very difficult to play a smaller guard on Sam Cassell because he's a very good low post player, and he loves to get down there and play in the low post, and then they'll start double teaming and he'll free up shots for his teammates.
We just saw Rodney Buford set the check in. Minnesota's on a 10-4 run. Webber against Garnett.
See, see, Kevin, one of the things when you're Sacramento, you're shorthanded. So when you dig yourself a hole, it's very difficult for Rick Adelman to sub and take his best players out because you're playing in from behind. That's why it's so important Sacramento get off to a good start.
Cassell with the Stojakovic rebound. And in this game, it's Minnesota +4 in that category. Brad Miller and Madsen quickly on him.
Miller, not a crowd favorite here. Remember Derek Martin in Game 5 when two of them both got ejected in a little skirmish.
Mike Bibby is 0 of 3 from the field so far. Threw up an air ball right there. Garnett, Hassel.
Hassel had an open 10-footer, put it on the floor, made it a tougher shot. He should have shot it the minute he caught it.
Miller off the bench is not taking a shot as Christie unleashes. Garnett the other way. Kevin with 6 points. Both teams have a foul to give in the final 47 seconds. Nice fake by Cassell. A foul on Christie.
And that's going to be Bibby's second foul.
Right. Bibby picks it up.
And again, Kevin, they're playing shorthanded. Rodney Buford into the game. Now remember, Mike Bibby picked up fouls in Game 6, had to set out all but 4 minutes of the third quarter. So they have really struggled when he has been on the bench or in foul trouble in this series. So we'll see how they play now with Mike Bibby in foul trouble.
And this brings in the first real taste of the Peeler suspension. Out for 2 games tonight. And a charge on the Timberwolves, and it goes on Cassell. Make it Madsen away from the ball.
Well, this was the Game 6 situation where Kevin Garnett and Anthony Peeler, two very good friends, got caught up. A couple elbows. Peeler throws one to the head and is suspended for 2 games. Stojakovic unloads a 3, so they have fought themselves back, trailed by only 5, in a welcome sight in Sacramento when Page is knocking down that 3.
And now the Kings are 2 of 4, shooting 3-point shots tonight. Timberwolves have not hit above the arc. And Sprewell, with Garnett setting a screen. Fred Hoiberg in the game for the first time. And Garnett over Weber. And a foul on Chris Webber. Just to finish up on the Peeler story, I talked today with Stu Jackson from the NBA office, and he said the 2-game suspension was because of the totality of those actions, the shot in the gut and then to the head. He said it was not a suspension for the first move and a suspension Game 2 for a second hit. It was the totality of it. And he said that the key was Peeler going over the shoulder and hitting him in the head. And he said we just can't, because of the injury factor. The NBA cannot tolerate that.
Absolutely, and it was the severity with which he threw the elbow, and if Sacramento advances, he would have to miss Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. But Garnett, it's important he gets to the free throw line. It's amazing in the wins and the losses. When he gets to that line in the wins about 9 times a game, only 3 in the losses, so he has got to be aggressive.
Foul to give for Minnesota. Great defense by Garnett. And that takes us to the end of the first quarter, where the Timberwolves shot 43%. Sam Cassell with the electric stem on that back, which has been a nuisance these entire playoffs. Coming up big with the great start, 5 of 8. Kevin Garnett has started like the MVP that he is.
Well, we talked about being his all-round game. You see the pass. He gets in the lane. He finds the open shooter. Backs down Chris Webber. This was his first shot of the game that he knocked in. His rebounding. And then his steals, his defense. He's filling up the stat sheet, stepping out, shooting the jump shots. It's his all-round brilliance that has made him the MVP. First quarter, 7 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, and more importantly, no turnovers. He's off to a great start.
And the other big name in this game is Mike Bibby on the Sacramento bench with no points, 2 fouls, and a single assist. Rodney Buford is in with Stojakovic, Miller, Divac, and Christie. Starting the second quarter, Madsen is on Miller. Stojakovic. And a Kevin Garnett rebound, and that is number 7.
Sacramento's got to do a better job screening Hassel to free up Stojakovic. It's only his third shot attempt of the game. He needs to get 20 field goal attempts.
And the guard comparison with Cassell winning that battle. Sam is still on the bench, as is Bibby. Here is Hoiberg with Sprewell, Garnett, Hassel, and Madsen to begin the second quarter. 3 to shoot for Garnett. Kevin is 3 of 5.
Now Christie is the primary ball handler with Mike Bibby being down, as you talked about. But when Bibby's out, they have struggled to run their offense smoothly.
And Christie for 2. Stojakovic with an offensive rebound and a dish to Christie inside. Garnett knocking it away and finally taking it out of the air. A 4-on-1. And Sprewell can't catch up with the pass.
Well, Sprewell tried to do something before he caught the basketball. It looked like he was looking back, but look at Garnett. He just sort of bluffs at the shot block there, and then he goes up and catches the ball out of the air. Watch him go up, rides the top of the elevator, and just takes the ball out of the air.
He picked the top floor of the penthouse to get that one.
Yes, he did, but we know he can afford a penthouse, that's for sure.
And Buford with the miss, Madsen with the rebound. Minnesota has not scored from the field in over 4 minutes, going back to the first quarter. Garnett. He's missed 2 in a row.
He's getting a little tired. Clifton's going to have to maybe give him a little bit of a rest here.
Christie lasers one inside Stojakovic. Is he tired?
Another layup miss. That's 3 layups here early in the game. Page has missed a couple. We just saw Doug Christie miss 1. I think you're going to see Irvin Johnson come in right now to give Kevin Garnett just a little bit of rest.
And Serbiak's going to come in for some offense as Hoiberg misses the shot. Stojakovic grabs onto his 6th rebound. And here come the Kings, Doug, who are 0 of 6 so far in the early stages of this second quarter.
Well, they have to be very fortunate. They're only down 6 points right now. And you can see they're going to Page on every possession here to try to get him some shots.
Good screen by Miller for Stojakovic. The shot just is not there. 1 of 6.
Well, Hassel's done a nice job. That was an open shot. He normally makes those, but most every other shot has been under duress.
Hoiberg has had a great series. Garnett again. Kevin's got a couple of assists. Sprewell for 3.
Well, Sprewell has struggled from the floor. Shot clock winding down. Christie looked like he was going to fake a timeout there. Rick Adelman wanted a timeout. That shot of Sprewell pushes it back to a 9-point lead.
Welcome back to the Target Center at the end of the first quarter. This was Sam Cassell. What a lot of people do not realize is the left side of his hip that started his back problems. And during the end of the first quarter, he was icing the left side of his hip and also his back. The interesting thing, Kevin and Doug, he told me yesterday is, why complain about a sore back? It's not going to help anything. He said, just try to keep me out of tonight's game. He has been extremely effective, guys.
Really gets a lengthy rest right there.
Kevin, I'll give you some numbers here. We played a little over 15 minutes. Sacramento's missed 18 shots. They have no second chance points. They have no fast break points. And they have no free throws. So they've done nothing to make up for their poor shooting. They're very fortunate they're only down 9.
And Doug, Sacramento only has 16 points in 15 minutes. It's Buford. Rebound by Hoiberg. They got Wally Serbiak in now. And Garnett is taking a breather with Sprewell on the Minnesota bench. Mike Bibby is back in the game with an 0 of 3 start. And Hoiberg to Serbiak. Buford defended. The slot normally held for Anthony Peeler on that end. And the Timberwolves have their biggest lead tonight.
That wasn't pretty, but he worked very hard for that. You can see Derek Martin now is not the backup point guard. They're going with Hoiberg and Serbiak in there with Cassell, so he wants his better players on the floor.
It's a better lineup as Hoiberg just picks up a foul. The Sacramento Kings are shooting 27%. They've missed their last 8 from the floor.
But you've got to do some hustle plays. They've got 2 baskets in the paint, no free throws. I mean, you've got to make something happen at the rim. Everything's a jump shot.
And Divac grinding inside against Irvin Johnson. We still go back, though, to Mike Bibby. That's the second on Irvin Johnson, the starting center for the Timberwolves, because when Bibby goes, this whole team benefits. He sets up Stojakovic, he sets up Weber, and his own game then develops very nicely.
Well, he makes the game easier for everybody else. And Kevin Garnett, we talked about it in the open. He said, if we can control Bibby, we can win the game. And right now they're doing that, and they have an 11-point lead.
And here's Vlade Divac at the line. The playoffs continue Friday night here on TNT. Game 1 Western Conference Finals between the Lakers and the winner of tonight's game. It's exclusive coverage on TNT as you see Dick Bavetta. The horns sounded just as Vlade was getting ready to put that shot in the air from the stripe. Kings tonight 1 of 2 from the line. Minnesota 2 of 3.
You can see the importance of Mike Bibby staying out of foul trouble because Christie now is resting. He's got to get a little bit of a rest, and you have to have Mike Bibby on the floor with Rodney Buford. You need a ball handler. Buford can do a good job defensively. He can make some shots, but he can't run your team. And that's where they really miss Bobby Jackson with that backup point guard situation. It's really put them in a hole now, especially with Peeler being out.
Take a look at Bobby Jackson, who continues to work out, but in civvies tonight, here comes Sam Cassell with the game-high 11. Timberwolves' 5th turnover. Stojakovic for 3. Hoiberg with the rebound.
See, Bibby is playing Hoiberg, and Rodney Buford is playing Cassell, so they're resting Bibby off the ball so he won't pick up his 3rd foul.
Cassell. And Bibby's got the ball, and he leads his team the other way, looking for Sacramento's first field goal in over 5 minutes. Quite a drought. The mismatch on Johnson, and Bibby is 0-4. Another Hoiberg, Minnesota rebound.
When Sacramento doesn't get the ball to the weak side of the floor and they quick shoot it, they play right in the hands of Minnesota. And that's when we talked to Rick Adelman before the game. We got to move the basketball. Tonight it's stuck on one side of the floor.
Serbiak. And tapped out, and Serbiak gets it on the volleyball. Timberwolves 2 of 7 from the field in this quarter. And Serbiak has given Minnesota a lead of 12. He's got 4 off the bench. Here come the Kings, 0 of 10 from the floor in the second quarter. Mike Bibby with a foul on Mark Madsen. Madsen picks up his 2nd personal foul of the game.
You know, if there was a shining light in Game 6 for Minnesota, it really was Wally Serbiak. He struggled all years with injury. We did a game early in the year in San Antonio when he was first coming back, and it was garbage time. He played the second half and had a big second half, and Flip Saunders thought that propelled him to start playing well. He had a great second half the other night in a blowout game. They're hoping that that will be the same scenario that will play over for him. Remember now, they struggled when they started getting Serbiak back and Michael Olowokandi and all the guys from injury. They went through that little period that Sacramento went through when Weber came back from injury. So they're hoping that the second half of Game 6 served as a way for Wally Serbiak to get himself back in the flow with his offense.
And just as he was feeling good about his game, he broke those small bones in the lower part of his back in the Denver series. Sam Cassell, a Serbiak offensive rebound, keeping it alive with a corkscrew move. And the Timberwolves have their biggest lead again as the Kings take it the other way with only 2 points this quarter. Brad Miller. Minnesota shooting 42%. It's Garnett. Buford with the rebound.
Minnesota's doing a better job moving the basketball right now than Sacramento. They're making the extra pass. Their shots are not as contested. Every shot that Sacramento shoots now is a contested shot.
Here's Weber back out on the floor. 7 minutes for Sacramento without a field goal until that one nailed by Mike Bibby, his first hit of the game from the floor. 1 of 5 for Bibby, and breaks a drought of 7 minutes and 6 seconds for the Kings. Szczerbiak and Bibby are an interesting matchup down low, and Szczerbiak just picked up a foul, pushing off on Bibby.
Well, see, Bibby can get away playing Hassel because Hassel's not a primary offensive player. When Szczerbiak comes in the game, he has to guard him.
We came into this game, we came into this series thinking about Mike Bibby and what his numbers meant to Sacramento's success.
Well, he's off to a 1-for-5 start, only 1 assist and 2 turnovers.
5 minutes to play as Weber tries to get it inside. It's loose and rolling out of bounds and kicked out of play by Minnesota. They've got 11 seconds on the shot clock.
Sacramento was 8 of 30. They've missed 22 shots and only have 3 offensive rebounds. So when you're not shooting well, you've got to manufacture some points. They only have 20 points here early in this first half.
Doug Christie now gets the breather on the bench. It's Sprewell racing the other way. Garnett, Irvin Johnson. With right in front, Irvin Johnson missing again, 0 of 3.
That's how unselfish Kevin Garnett is. I mean, he should have taken that shot, and he throws it to Irvin Johnson, who's really a non-shooter.
And now Garnett goes against Bibby. And Buford wide open for 3. And a good offensive rebound by Miller and a 3 by Bibby. And that goes in, and he is now hit 2 in a row.
Second chance point. You miss the shot, you get an offensive rebound, you kick it out to Bibby, and they've clawed back to 8. So right now Minnesota cannot have a letdown. We know Sacramento has the ability to come roaring back.
They had no lead changes and no ties in this game. Timberwolves have led by 13. Kings have never led. Shot clock is down to 5 for Szczerbiak.
See, Bibby can't guard him down there in the post. He can guard Hassel because they won't go to him. Szczerbiak is a primary offensive player, so with him being healthy, that changes their matchup. You can't hide Mike Bibby with fouls.
Szczerbiak off the bench with 8 points. They got Sprewell on Bibby and a foul called on Latrell Sprewell. Truth be told, Sacramento only has 1 true point guard, and that's Bibby right there. Early foul trouble with 2. When he's out, like you mentioned before, it becomes a bit stagnant on their offensive end.
Well, you see what it's done. I mean, they're shooting 28%. They're 2 of 5 from the foul line. No fast break points. They've hit a 3 second chance points. They haven't gotten to the free throw line except for 2 made free throws. So right now they're being out hustled.
Doug Christie is back in, and Weber is wide open.
No lead is safe with either one of these teams. We've seen some unbelievable things in games 1 and 2 already in this series and in game 3.
Here come the Timberwolves, whose offensive game is based on efficiency. And tonight, they've got 6 assists and 15 made field goals.
Got to go back to Szczerbiak. If they double team, it'll free up an open shooter.
This time, Szczerbiak takes it inside. And Christie comes out of there with it. Christie to Stojakovic. And Miller off the wing, and a Minnesota foul. And Irvin Johnson picks up his 3rd personal for the Timberwolves.
This is where Rick Adelman hopes all the big games this team has played in will kick in. They've gotten off to a bad start, but they've played in a lot of big games. They've played on the road. They've had their heart broken on many occasions. This is when they really have to pull together. And as poorly as they played in the first half, Kevin, if they can be within 6 points, they'll be in good shape.
Yeah, Doug, 3rd consecutive year they've played in a 7-game series. Losing the last 2 to the Lakers and 0-2 in the Western Conference Finals as Johnson is now on the bench and Manson has taken his place. And Miller hits.
The game with the Lakers, the 7th game at home, that's the one that sticks with this team.
They still talk about it, right?
That was the crusher. You see Jeff Petrie, who's done a magnificent job here, but so many questions about this team. If they lose this series, where are they heading? A lot of older players on this team. This team is built to win right now.
Points by Miller is the first bench point of the game. Cassell, Garnett, and right through the hands of Mark Manson, who has had a wonderful series for the Timberwolves. We're taking a look at the top 6 players in this game, the big 3 from each team.
Well, you look at the combined shooting for the Sacramento, 7 of 19. Stojakovic, 1 of 7. Bibby, 2 of 6. So they're a combined 3 of 13. Weber, 4 for 6. And then Sprewell, Garnett, and Cassell, what they have done. Garnett and Cassell shooting it well. Sprewell only 1 of 6.
That is a 7-point difference in the game. 7 points separating the big 3 from each team. And There's Madsen on Miller. Screen for Bibby for 2. Rebound by Kevin Garnett, who now has 12 rebounds in the game for Minnesota, and the Timberwolves are +8 in rebounding tonight. Sprewell. Latrell Sprewell has 5 points. Only one player in this game in double figures. That's Sam Cassell's 11 points. Brad Miller, more bench points. Hits a 2. He's got 3 for the game.
That shot there is there for their big men. Remember, when Bibby gets inside, the big men are plugging the lane for Minnesota, and that jump shot will be there. That's what Rick Adelman talks about, getting the ball to the weak side of the floor.
Garnett 3 of 7. Miller draws a foul.
Minnesota's whole thing is keep Bibby out of the lane. Well, when he gets in the lane, watch what happens. Madsen steps in to help, and look who's wide open, Brad Miller. That's the shot we talked about in the open. That will be there if Sacramento will have patience, take their time, and get the ball to the other side of the floor.
Here's Garnett at the free throw line, who has only been averaging 6 free throw attempts a game in this series. And here is his 3rd attempt tonight at an all-access look at the NBA playoffs. Tune into the NBA TV playoff show Destination Finals. That's every weeknight at 6 p.m. only on NBA TV. He's got to take more than 6 a game.
Well, be aggressive, go to the bat. He's so good at leaping away from contact. Sometimes you got to jump in and you got to make the referees blow the whistle.
Cassell trying to guard Christie. Knocked away with another Sacramento turnover. They now have 8. Minnesota has 7.
That passing lane is not there. The opposite big man from Minnesota is dropping back and taking away their layups. That's their game plan.
Bibby on Sprewell with the mismatch here. Serbiak, whose inside game tonight has been fun to watch. Normally a perimeter player. Stojakovic picks up the foul. As Serbiak has energized the Timberwolves off the bench with 8 points in 8 minutes.
Well, see, the problem you have now is Mike Bibby has got to either play Cassell, Serbiak, or Sprewell. Every one of those guys can score, so now you can't hide him on a Hassel or a Hoiberg off the basketball. So now they have a mismatch, and they're going to that every opportunity. Whoever Mike Bibby's guarding, they're trying to go in the post and create a mismatch.
So here's Serbiak at the free throw line with his 1st attempt tonight from the stripe. And in this series, Serbiak is now 7 of 8. As they take out Madsen, they bring in Gary Trent. Madsen again gives him quality minutes off the bench. He heads there with a couple rebounds and some nice defense.
You know, it's amazing how coaches know their players. Yesterday, Wally Serbiak had a great practice. Flip Saunders said I was very confident he was going to have a great game tonight, and he is.
Including 3 offensive rebounds for Wally Serbiak. Weber. Stojakovic. Deflected with the shot clock at 5 for Doug Christie around Kevin Garnett. That was a hard shot. Sal and Serbiak, the only players in this game in double figures. No fouls to give either way. Kevin Garnett. And Miller with the rebound off the bench. He's collected 3.
They get a quick 2 for 1 here. Bibby pulls up and shoots the shot quickly.
He tries, he's inside. They let him penetrate, something that is against the rules against Sacramento. Don't let him get in the lane. And the foul goes on Trent for the first time.
Well, when you play Peja Stojakovic, you have got to stay. You got to keep chasing him. You got to stay on that right hand and make him be a passer. And that's exactly what Wally Serbiak did on that play. We've seen Hassel do that. Keep chasing. Don't give up on the play. Get a hand up in his face and make him take a tough shot.
As Sacramento from the free throw line, 3 of 8. Here comes Divac back in the game for Miller. Minnesota from the free throw line, 6 of 7. So that has worked well for the Timberwolves to, at the very least, stay abreast of the Kings at the line. Maybe with all 7 of his points in this second quarter.
Psychologically, if you're Sacramento, you want to keep this lead under double digits.
Garnett has not scored from the field in this quarter as Casal takes it in, and a foul on the Kings. Inside and underneath, and Peja picks up his second foul. So here's the shooting of the big three. Stojakovic is 1 of 7. Bibby is 2 of 7. Really the only one answering the call is Chris Webber, 4 of 6. And here is Casal at the free throw line for the Timberwolves.
Casal got off to the great start. He slowed down a little bit in this second period. The game has slowed down. The defense has picked up. It's his first point this quarter. Hassel back in the game for defensive purposes, and Wally Szczerbiak tonight, it's Wally's world here in Minneapolis. A crowd favorite and playing very well.
10 points in 9 minutes for Szczerbiak, and Casal with the game-high 13. Final 15 seconds of the half. Mike Bibby into Chris Webber, and a Garnett foul.
What a great find there, Mike Bibby. It looked like he had nowhere to go. He was hung up. I thought he was going to force a shot. And at the last minute, he spotted Chris Webber underneath the basket. 3.9 seconds, still a lot of time, though. So after these free throws, Sacramento's got to make sure they get back on defense.
Webber 76% from the line in this series. Webber now is 0 of 2 from the stripe. He has a Kings-high 8 points and a timeout.
Well, Flip Saunders is going to take a 20-second timeout. And what he's going to do, he's going to set up a play here to try to sprint out and get the last shot of the half. So he's drawing up a special play to try to get a field goal, steal a basket going into halftime.
Well, Doug, let's go back to how we opened up our show tonight. Minnesota has the top seed in the Western Conference, meaning as long as they are alive, they have home court. This is why it was so valuable to have that #1 seed. Ironically enough, in a late regular season win for the Timberwolves in Sacramento, they replaced the Kings in that #1 slot.
Well, and we know Sacramento finished the season horribly with some bad losses, so they dug a hole to put themselves in this position. Can they get out of it?
Darius Songaila has come in for the final 3.9 seconds with Chris Webber at the free throw line.
Wally Szczerbiak is checked back in for offensive purposes.
Webber 0 of 3. And Trent takes us to halftime.
That's a downer for Sacramento. Chris Webber walks up, misses 2 free throws at the end of the half. The lead stays at 10, double digits, instead of getting it under 10 to 8. With the 2 big misses, even though it's just halftime, psychologically going in, that's a downer.
Let's go to Cheryl Miller.
Sam Cassell, obviously this is a Sacramento team more than capable of going on runs. Talk about the defense in the first half.
Well, once we know we can stop this team scoring offensively, our offense will come. But the key to beating this team is stopping them defensively. They got streaky shooters, guys who can make a lot of shots, but we just got to continue to play the way we've been playing. We'll win the game.
You know, despite your sore back, you got off to a quick start. How do you keep it loose for the second half?
You tell me. I don't know. So we got
Come on, old man. You got to come up with the answer.
High-priced doctors, so I don't know what they're going to do to me.
You can always take a shot.
No.
Well, good luck in the second half. Let's send it back to you.
Cheryl, thank you very much. We will send you to Cheryl right now.
Thanks a lot, Kevin and Coach. In 24 minutes, Peja Stojakovic is 1 for 7, and out of those 7 shots, he had 6 shots contested. 2 shots were blocked by Kevin Garnett in the paint, so he really only had 1 open look. Now, his game is so similar, just to mention a few of the players in the league, New Jersey's Richard Hamilton, and I give my own little brother, Reggie Miller. In terms of movement without the ball, these guys use up so much energy, plus you throw in the fact that this has been such a grueling series. Coach, my question to you, how much is fatigue going to be an issue for Peja in the second half?
Well, Cheryl, the one thing that Minnesota can do, they can throw 3 different defenders, even 4 different defenders at him, and keep a fresh body on him all the time. They start out with Hassel. They can come in with Hoiberg. They can play Szczerbiak on him. They can put Sprewell on him. But right now, he's got to put fatigue in the back of his mind. Charles talked about it. He was third in the MVP voting, and he has to step up. This is Game 7. Put that in the background and start making shots.
So you've seen our Chrysler game summary, and here we go, beginning the second half. Bibby, Stojakovic with Hassel with the defense, and a big way to start for the Sacramento Kings.
Well, they screened for him. They set a double screen that time, and I don't think Sacramento's been doing a good job screening. Their big men have to go down and headhunt and free him open for shots.
Kings have hit 4 threes, and Sprewell answers at the other end with 2. And Sprewell now with 7. Let's set the lineups. Divac, Christie, Weber, Bibby, and Stojakovic with the ball. That's for Sacramento. Garnett is on Weber. Hassel with Johnson, Cassell out there. And Sprewell, the Minnesota 5, and 2 more for the Kings. And inside, it's Weber, who is 5 of 7.
Well, good execution. They get a screen roll layup, and they get a nice double screen for Stojakovic and get a 3. 5 quick points.
Rebound by Mike Bibby. The Kings have never led. Minnesota's biggest lead has been 13. And Weber thinking about 3. And Divac's uncovered with Stojakovic providing some interference down low.
And Flip Saunders here is not going to watch much more of this. If he doesn't get a score on this possession, Sacramento does, he's going to have to take a timeout. All that hard work they did in the first half has been cut in half in a minute and a half.
All that hard work in the season. And this is the 7th game. It's either a season that ends or extends. Sprewell for 3. And a rebound by Weber, who keeps his balance and saves it. And Weber now with 5 rebounds. Stojakovic in this game 7, hitting his first offering in the second half. The winner of this game plays the Los Angeles Lakers. Sprewell at the other end.
And the foul. That's how fragile it is for Sacramento when you're playing uphill. Stojakovic misses a jumper that would cut it to 3. And this is what Sprewell has done in games 5 and 6. He has put his head down and he's attacked the front of that rim and given them great energy. And see, he's one of the few guys on this team that goes to the basket. This is a jump shooting team.
And that's why they got him in the offseason.
And when he does that, he gives them a different look to their attack that they don't have without him.
Mike Bibby just picked up his 3rd foul.
Let's hear it.
And Bibby is 2 of 7. Weber over Kevin Garnett. And Divac with the offensive rebound, had the ball slapped away. Cassell was in there defending, and Sam picks up his first.
The importance now of knocking down free throws. 4 of 11 for Sacramento in the first half. They missed 7 free throws. This is a team that shot over 80% in the regular season. And in big games, free throws come to the forefront. Kevin, when they lost that heartbreaking game to the Lakers, game 7 at home, they missed 14 of 30 free throws and lost an overtime game. That free throw line is so vital in close, low-scoring games when the pressure is on. And there you see the numbers. They were 2 of 20 from the three-point line and missed 14 free throws. That will not get it done in a big game.
Divac is 3 of 4 from the stripe, and the Kings as a team 6 of 13. Taking 3 more attempts from the Timberwolves tonight. Sprewell with a lot of purple around him, nonetheless gets it in.
Again, that slashing move in the lane. Sprewell got off to a slow start shooting the basketball. He was 2 for 8 at the half. Has hit 2 baskets here to push Sacramento back to a 7-point deficit.
The winner in this game 7 advances. So far, leading scorer Sam Cassell. Timberwolves have never trailed. Christie for 3. And a couple of threes by the Kings, who trailed by 10 at halftime. Now they're within 4 points with 3 minutes gone in the 3rd quarter. Sal playing with the bad back, and Garnett held by Weber. No call made. Even Divac gave a little bump, and still no call, but the MVP's got 11.
Well, his ability to go up and hold that ball in one hand and run and go away from the defense.
Weber with Johnson on him. Johnson with the steal. And 9 Kings turnovers, 7 for Minnesota. Sprewell.
open court plays. Latrell Sprewell.
It's Bibby, and Christie comes up with it, and Doug Christie continues to shoot well, 50% from the field, and a Sacramento 12 points.
He's keeping him in the game. He's hit a couple threes. When they get off to a cold start, he's the only one making any shots.
Hit trap on Cassell, and Garnett against Divac, and a foul on Vlade. That's number 1 on him.
Kevin Garnett, watch how his ability to get up and extend. Look at the extension. And then on the way down, just softly flips the ball at the basket. And then Latrell Sprewell follows him. 3 quick baskets here. 2 slashing in the open court, 1 in the half-court game. So he's gotten off to a good start here after a slow first half.
We may have had some nervous energy to begin the game as Garnett puts up a beauty inside. And Minnesota is back up by 8. We may have had some nervous energy to begin the game, but to begin the second half, it has been a race.
Well, it gets down after about the first 5 minutes to who can execute the best. And right now, that's Minnesota.
And Weber inside. Rebound by Kevin Garnett. He gets his 14th. The Timberwolves have gone 6 of 8 to begin the second half. Hassel. Divac with the rebound.
See, Chris Webber just does not have the ability to finish at the basket anymore. He used to be such a powerful athletic player. Now he has to finger roll and flip those shots, and he misses a lot of easy shots around the basket, Kevin.
Stojakovic had it knocked away. Do you sense that Weber is playing within the offensive schemes of Sacramento tonight?
I've sensed here in the third quarter a couple times right now where Sacramento's starting to go one-on-one. That will not get it done for them. Weber one-on-one, Stojakovic. This is a team. This is a team that depends on each other.
Doug, numbers can tell the story, and the Timberwolves right now with the lead as they have had all game long. Here are some things that you've been watching.
Well, one of the things that Minnesota's done is they've taken away Sacramento's layups. That was one of their goals, take away their easy scores. They've made them a 3-point shooting team. So Sacramento's made 4 more 3-pointers, but Minnesota winning every other battle. And so what they've tried to do, take away the layups, make them shoot jumpers, contest them, get a hand in the face, and they think they'll win the series.
And Doug, the Kings are averaging about 11 fast break points per game in this series. Not a single fast break Sacramento point tonight. It's Weber for 2, Cassell with the rebound. And Garnett with Divac and Stojakovic there.
It's a mismatch there. Vlade is going to try to keep his body in front of him, but normally you get help, and that time Garnett spun away from the double team and was one-on-one with Vlade. That's a no contest.
It's Bibby, 2 of 7. Rejected by Kevin Garnett. Shot clock at 10. Christie, Bibby for 3. Good! And the Kings have gone 6 of 11 above the arc. Minnesota 1 of 5.
And they're hanging around. I mean, it's only a 7-point game. But if you watch this game, it almost feels like Minnesota should be up by 20.
It's Garnett and Sprewell accounting for all of the third quarter points for the Timberwolves. A mismatch with Bibby on Garnett. Sprewell around Weber. And Garnett with the rebound. He's got 15.
The will to win. Kevin Garnett, he was so disappointed in his game 1 effort here when he was 6 of 21, played out of character. Sacramento won the game, and tonight just working feverishly in that lane. The block shot, we saw the score, the offensive rebound, and this is what we showed in our open. This passion and this energy, that's what his team feeds off of, and they know he's their best player, and when he leads, they follow.
And Kevin Garnett knocks in his 16th point. He's got 2 block shots, 3 fouls on Stojakovic. You just saw Kevin McHale, the architect of this team, and a guy who finished second to Jerry West, the executive of the year. But if anybody deserved consideration, with 9 new faces on a playoff roster as compared to a season ago, McHale had to be right up there.
And the 2 guys who held that together early in the season, they got up to a 9-10 start. And it was Flip Saunders and Kevin Garnett, their relationship, their ability to hold things together until it could get in sync, and once it did, they carved out the best record in the West.
38% Sacramento shooting tonight. Stojakovic for three. Sprewell with the rebound. Minnesota is +8 in rebounding tonight. Timberwolves on a 10-4 run as Madsen, freshly off the bench, turns it over for a second time underneath tonight.
Well, he's trying to go too fast. He's got to slow down, just catch the ball, and then finish. He's trying to do something before he catches it.
Miller off the bench and in. Here's Bibby. Sacramento turnovers. And ahead it goes, and Christie will sail up. Garnett won't even try to get it.
Sam Cassell, you can see his limited mobility. When he tries to work too hard up the screen roll, he struggles. When he played well early, it was open shots. Trying to do too much, and that's gotten himself in trouble. That was a turnover without getting a shot at the basket.
And the first fast break points by Sacramento tonight. 4.5 in the third. Kevin Garnett, who from the field tonight has gone 6 of 13 with a Minnesota high 17 points. Miller over Maxey. Brad Miller, 2 of 3 with 5.
There's those open jump shots again. The big men from Sacramento, it's tough to defend them because they really don't post other than Weber. Vlade and Miller at their best, really spotting up in either passing or shooting. They stepped up, they made some shots, and a little nervous crowd here right now, Kevin.
In this game 7, the Sacramento Kings have never led. They've trailed by as many as 13 points. Sprewell's got 13. Christie's got 14, and Miller off the bench with 5, and Bibby's got 10. KG with the game-high 17.
Okay, but they're putting the ball in the basket now this period. Sacramento, after the horrendous first-half shooting, they now have made 8 of 14 in this quarter, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. It's what you expect from Sacramento. They were #1 in field goal percentage, #1 in 3. And they're starting to make shots, and they put the pressure on Minnesota. Now here's another steal. They're going to cut this lead down to 3.
Christie. And now the shooting, which was in the low 30s most of the first half of Sacramento, now up to 41%, 9 in the quarter from Christie.
Again, Sam Cassell cannot be careless. He's got Doug Christie on him, one of the better defenders.
Cassell, I don't know if he was lobbing or shooting. I think he was shooting, and Cassell says that Christie hit him. No call. Ball sails out of bounds, and Sacramento's got it.
Well, Sam got to leave that alone. But that's 3 turnovers in this period for Sam. Got to take care of the basketball. Remember, when Minnesota turns it over, that's when they get themselves in trouble.
Calling it a missed shot. Hoiberg is in and fouls Stojakovic, who tried to take it inside. Second on Fred Hoiberg.
Well, that missed shot was the same thing as a turnover. He got hung in the air, and at the last minute, he shot the thing out of bounds, whether or not he got fouled. So he's had 2 turnovers and an air ball that went out of bounds.
Remember, the Kings have been in this Game 7 before. This Minnesota team has not been in a Game 7. They have been in one deciding game. A 3 for the tie. It's an air ball by Bibby. His second air ball from long range tonight.
See, Hoiberg is in the game now for Hassel. They need another guy out there that can make a shot. When will we see Zerbiak?
Cassell. And Madsen turns it over for a 3rd time, and each time dug underneath the basket.
He should have used decaf coffee today. I mean, he's just fumbling the ball out of bounds. He's so wound up.
Minnesota's turned it over 4 times in this quarter, and 11 times for the game. And Miller off the bench with 7 points. And a concerned Flip Saunders has watched his one-time 13-point lead evaporate down to a point with 2.5 to play in the third.
It's amazing what happens when you start making shots, isn't it? Game becomes really easy. Those plays start looking good.
And if you said this is the #1 shooting regular season team in the NBA, Sacramento is. Kevin Garnett doubled. Rebound by Miller. The Kings on an 11-2 run. And they have not led tonight. That is a shove by Christie and a foul.
Now it's going to be interesting. Rodney Buford is coming into the game to spell Stojakovic. And what Rick Adelman is trying to do is buy 2 minutes and 16 seconds here. They've cut into the lead, trying to buy 2 minutes and 16 seconds to get Stojakovic rest so he can come in and finish the fourth period. This is going to be important for Minnesota now to try to take advantage of this with him out.
Minnesota has not scored from the field in 4.5 minutes. And taking the place of Anthony Peeler, a Peeler-esque defensive move by Buford, who knocks it away. The suspension by Peeler, so Buford plays, and Weber has just given the Sacramento Kings their first lead tonight. And Weber's put in 12, and the Kings up by 1.
Turnovers.
Climbing back from 13 down. Garnett, 4 of make it 6 of 14 in the game if they foul as he spun, and Buford is the guy to get him for the Kings.
Now, one of the things that Minnesota can't do is throw the ball into Garnett and just stand and watch him play, because it's out of character for him to try to throw up a 30, 35-point game. He does it within the flow of everything. He's a guy we talked about filling up the stat sheet. So they have got to call on other guys here to help out. That's why they have Sprewell and Cassell. Looks like Gary Trent is going to come in the game probably for Madsen. And I would expect you to see Wally Szczerbiak here really quickly because they're struggling to find a way to score.
Tomorrow night on ESPN, Game 7 between New Jersey and Detroit. Saturday night, it's Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Western Conference Finals begin on TNT Friday. Exclusively, this is your address for what should be a terrific Western Conference matchup. We know one team, the Lakers. The second free throw by Garnett goes astray. He is 6 of 8 from the line and a game-high 18 points.
And the Lakers are sitting at home tonight watching, wondering, do we fly here to Minnesota or do we stay at home and let Sacramento come to us?
It's Weber around Garnett. Kings have their biggest lead.
This game has turned dramatically. The shooting of Sacramento in this period, where has this been?
And just think of the ghosts that they fight off coming into this deciding game as Christie picks up a foul. They've been here 2 consecutive years, and this is the 3rd straight trip as you take a look at Rick Adelman and what these 2 teams have done when leading in the playoffs after 3 quarters.
Well, look at the regular season, 47-6, 48-9, and in the playoffs, neither one of them have lost after when they've been leading after 3. So that's how important it is for these teams to play with the lead. And Flip Saunders nervously watching on, and here's Wally Szczerbiak, who had the terrific first half. I'm sure one of the things that he's doing is he's got to monitor his minutes a little bit. The guy can't be in great shape, so probably would like to get maybe 8 or 10 minutes out of Wally here if he can.
Sal from the line, 4 of 4. Minnesota is a team 12 of 15. Taking 2 more free throws tonight than the Kings. Buford with the rebound. Minnesota has got a foul to give.
And they're going in the post to Weber's. Had a lot of success in this period.
Buford over Cassell. Hoiberg taps it to Garnett. Here comes Sam Cassell.
That was a quick 2-for-1 shot.
Minnesota had not scored from the field in over 6 minutes until that hit. It's Sacramento's ball with 14 seconds on the shot clock.
And you can see with Hoiberg in the game, Cassell is not guarding Bibby, it's Hoiberg. They want a bigger, stronger defender, a guy who can challenge his shot better than Cassell, who gets bumped off on those screen rolls.
Brad Miller for the tie. It's a Hoiberg rebound and 10 seconds to play in the 3rd.
Well, Minnesota should have the lead unless they turn the ball over here.
Trent.
Oh! How do you miss that layup?
What a comeback by the Sacramento Kings. Trent missing right underneath. The Timberwolves led by 10 with 6.5 to play in the 3rd. In the Timberwolves' third quarter, the last 6.5 minutes, 1 of 6 and 5 turnovers. At one time, the Timberwolves led by 13. The Kings went up by 2 in that third. And as we start the fourth, it's Minnesota 62-60.
Well, and after a woeful first half, 33% shooting, Sacramento 12 of 21. They made 3 threes in that period. That's how they got themselves back in the game.
Hoiberg in there with Trent, Cassell, Garnett, and Serbiak. They trap Hoiberg. Garnett into Trent, who missed a shot right underneath as the third quarter was coming to a close. And Christie for the tie. And here comes Hoiberg with Cassell. And Buford is in with the suspended Peeler and a foul called on Buford for a second time. Cheryl, what do you have?
The Flip Sounders headed into this next, in the fourth quarter, said the next 12 minutes, guys, we want to execute, attack the basket, rebound, and run. And both Sam Cassell and Kevin Garnett were screaming, telling guys, we got to make the layups and the easy baskets.
Well, Cheryl, just to follow up on that, Gary Trent has missed a layup and just fumbled the ball. Mark Madsen has fumbled 3 balls out of bounds. So Kevin Garnett is setting these guys up for easy scores. They got to catch the ball and finish. You know, Garnett, they're going to build a wall against him. They're going to try to make him pass the ball. So it's going to be his rebounding, shot blocking, and all the other things he brings. For Sacramento, this is Mike Bibby's time. This is when he has to lead his team on the road in Game 7.
D-box, Bibby. And out to a wide open Brad Miller. Rebound by Mike Bibby as the Kings try to stop a Minnesota 6-0 run. Buford. That was a nice shot.
Now this guy can score. I mean, he was a big-time scorer at Creighton. Remember, now he played in the NBA Finals with Philly. So he's had experience in big games. They trust him. Sidney Lowe coached him at Memphis when he was there as the head coach. He said there was many games he led their team in scoring, so he can put points on the board.
Garnett's got a game-high 18. Trent a screen for Hoiberg's 3. In this series in the fourth quarter, the Kings have shot 10% better than Minnesota. 43-33 in the fourth.
Stojakovic got a nice rest. Now Christie's getting a little bit of a rest. So Rodney Buford is buying nice minutes here for this team. Remember, normally that would be Anthony Peeler. He's buying minutes so Christie can get some rest. Stojakovic maybe buy Bibby a couple minutes, but Weber now is getting a little bit of a rest. You'll see him to finish the game. So Rick Allen managing his timeouts and substitutions.
Tie on that 2-point shot by Buford. The Kings have basically come back with some outstanding 3-point shooting, 6 of 13. 12 more points than Minnesota in that category. Garnett. And D-box with the rebound. Kings now only -4 in rebounding tonight. It was a double-digit deficit in the first half. Miller.
See Mike Bibby looking to get in the lane every time he can to kick that ball out to one of his big men to shoot the basketball, just like this.
And Miller for the tie. Did not hit the rim. Shot clock buzzer expires.
Now see, Kevin Garnett has got to be tired right now. Can Flip Saunders rest him at all? Can he give him a minute somewhere along the lines? They're going to need every ounce of his energy to finish this game. That's why with Sacramento closing this lead down, it makes it very difficult to take Garnett out of the game. He's now playing point guard with Cassell sitting, and Zerbiak and Sprewell and Hoiberg on the floor. So he now is their point guard.
Now Garnett and Stojakovic have both played the most minutes in this game, 36 apiece and ticking. Garnett.
See, they just build a wall. What a great footwork.
And Miller goes down, and Trent was right there, and a foul called on Minnesota's Gary Trent for the third time.
Watch him step through this double team. The up and under has a point-blank shot and just can't quite finish. Every one of those shots now so precious.
Sacramento, Doug has started this quarter 1 of 5 with a turnover.
And they're still only down 2, so Minnesota's not taking advantage of it.
Bibby for the lead. Rebound by Johnson off to Garnett. Here come the Timberwolves, 0 of 4 to start the fourth quarter.
How about Kevin Garnett? They're asking him to do it all. Now he's leading their team.
With the point guard, Cassell, resting on the bench. Nice feed, Serbian to Garnett.
This guy's got energy. He's going to need it all to close this.
That breaks another long drought of scoring for Minnesota, almost 4 minutes. Now they're beginning to pull with some momentum, up by 4 points with 8:43 to play in regulation. The numbers on Kevin Garnett tonight, big numbers, and that's what you'd expect from the MVP in a big Game 7.
It's sort of interesting. Vivian Stojakovic 5 for 21, and they're only down 4. Can either one of those guys catch fire here in the last 9 minutes?
The Kings have only led for 64 seconds tonight.
Mike Bibby getting a rest now to try to finish this game.
Christie will man the point, and Stojakovic, who is having a devil of a time getting open, 2 of 11.
Every shot is contested. You heard Steve Kerr in the half-court game. Sacramento struggling to score. Stojakovic has 2 field goals, both of them 3-point shots.
Knocked away by Stojakovic on the steal against Christie. Garnett going back with Sprewell on defense, and Weber.
There's the turnovers.
That's the first Sacramento field goal in 3 minutes. It breaks a drought of 3:05.
Well, Minnesota, when they get those turnovers, we talked about it. When they've lost the battle of the turnovers, they've lost the games in this series.
13 for the Wolves and 12 for the Kings. Turnovers tonight. And Kevin Garnett.
Why not?
That's a Sacramento turnover. 13 for the game.
Well, you can tell tired legs there. Got bumped a little bit and fell. That's a sign of fatigue. That's why that shot's not going in, contesting every shot. And his legs right now are recovering.
Garnett again.
When he plays well, look what it does to the rest of his team. It's like a shot of adrenaline. He goes up strong, back-to-back baskets, the jump hook, the great extension. Kevin McHale would be proud of that one. That's a Kevin McHale jump hook, and that's the guy who taught him. And Rick Adelman not happy. That lead has climbed to 6. Kevin McHale, that's your old TV partner. He's got a 6-point lead, and he's saying, clock, can you just keep moving?
Garnett in 4th quarter free throw shooting has been terrific in this series.
The importance of getting there, getting into penalties, so anytime you go to the basket, you shoot free throws, and you jinxed him.
He's 14 of now 17 in this series for the game. 6 of 9, but a game-high 24 for Garnett. Under 7 to play. Stojakovic, who sneaks in the paint with an easy basket.
That's the one thing that when you play Peja, if you can take away his layups, he'll struggle to score. And that's his first basket inside the 3-point line of the game.
That 2 lead changes in a tie. Timberwolves have led by 13. The Kings have led by as many as 2. Weber wants a timeout, and he gets a timeout after the steal. Smart move by a guy who's played in a lot of Game 7s.
Well, every possession is vital. You know, when you're feeding the post, Kevin, you got to get a good angle to do that. Fred Hoiberg tried to pass the ball in an angle where Weber could sneak around and knock that ball loose. Moving without the basketball, one of the best in the leagues. He gets a little bump, and Garnett just cannot quite get there soon enough. And there again, you see improving the passing lane. Weber reads it, he sneaks around, gets down on the floor, calls a 20-second timeout. And once again, when Minnesota turns the ball over, it allows Sacramento to stay close. Now down only 4 with a chance to cut it to 2 or possibly 1.
Well, we told you the ghosts of these deciding games, these Game 7 certainly haunting the Sacramento Kings.
Well, in the first round against Utah, Vlade missed a jump hook that would have won. They lost in overtime. Lost the Game 5 to the Lakers. Now, those were when you had the best of 5. In the Game 7, we talked about the Lakers, and last year when Weber got hurt, the Game 7 when Van Exel had a tremendous game. And there's Jeff Petrie, the architect of this team. He can only hope that the team can find a way to ease that heartache that they felt in all those losses.
Bibby is doubled. Weber. Shot clock is down to 5. Knocked away. That's a block shot. Johnson and Garnett were there. And Hoiberg to Sprewell. And we're halfway through the 4th quarter in Game 7.
Again, Cassell on the bench right now, resting. Getting ready to come in at the scorer's table, so Garnett leading the attack.
Serbiak with another offensive rebound, his 4th offensive rebound tonight. Garnett.
Great pass and a wonderful finish.
Weber with a nice pass into Miller, and he got it to go.
Look what I found.
Miller has 9 points. No true point guard on the floor for the Timberwolves. Christie and Bibby comprise those 2 positions for Sacramento.
Well, he just crossed over and left Chris Webber standing in his wake. Nobody on the weak side to help. Kevin Garnett has taken over this game.
As an MVP should do.
Exactly right.
Big pass, Mike Bibby inside to Miller. Bibby has got a game-high 7 assists.
You look at Kevin Garnett, though. He is so tired right now. They're only up 4, still 4.5 minutes. Does he have enough gas in the tank to finish off this game? I mean, Flip Saunders is going to have to use his timeouts wisely and strategically rest his star. A lot of time left in this game. Mike Bibby, 6 of 23. Sacramento still only down 4, and the only way they're in the game right now is they're plus 12 from behind that 3-point line. Otherwise, they'd be down by double digits.
Sacramento has a litany of deciding games over the recent years. This is Minnesota's 2nd since 1998. So Sacramento is going to have to tap into some of that reserve, some of that past. Garnett, and a rebound by Mike Bibby, who takes it away from Sam Cassell.
Yeah, that wasn't a good possession come out of the timeout. A forced shot at the end of the shot clock.
Brad Miller with a Irvin Johnson rebound.
And a great play by Irvin Johnson to come over and chase him off that layup.
Cassell and Garnett. And Miller is right there. What is interesting now is we have seen a couple of second-half pushes and shoves. Remember, we have had 3 ejections over the last 2 games involving Miller, Derek Martin, and tonight the absence of Anthony Peeler being felt by the Kings.
Well, cooler heads must prevail tonight. Serbiak coming into the game for Fred Hoiberg to give him again another shooter on the floor.
Miller picked up his 3rd foul.
But again, somebody else other than Kevin Garnett has got to be able to score here. Sam Cassell is caught once again winding down. He's going to get himself in trouble over dribbling.
Shot clock is down to 5. And Miller's got Garnett way outside. Oh, what a shot by Kevin Garnett!
Happy birthday.
Sal picks up the foul on Miller after Weber couldn't get it, and hobbling is Chris Weber. How about this with just a couple seconds left on the shot clock?
Well, Sam Cassell dribbled out the whole clock, a line drive. That's one of those trolley wire threes. That's that flat shot he had when he first came into the league. But isn't that the last 13 points in a row now by Kevin Garnett? He has 31 in the game, the last 13.
Kevin Garnett has only hit 2 3-point shots in the entire playoff, but both have come against the Kings in this series.
Free throw shooting once again. We talked about Sacramento. Shot over 80% in the regular season. Miller steps up and misses 2.
And the Kings are 6 of 15, and Miller is 1 of 4. Cassell, foul.
Free throws. Pressure, fatigue.
Miller just picked up his 4th foul for Coach Rick Adelman.
6 of 15, 80% free throw shooting team, 6 of 15. Remember Weber missed the 2 at the end of the half? I said it was a downer for his team going in. Miller there after Kevin Garnett throws in that 3, steps up and misses 2. On the road, you can't make those kind of plays and win in a game 7.
Here comes Hassel in for Serbia.
Defensive purposes, so he's going to go offense, defense. He's going to stay at the scorer's table. If he can, they get the ball back, then he'll come back in.
Sal is 7 of 8. We saw what Minnesota's record is when out shooting their opponent. Minnesota is +10 in made free throws tonight.
Well, they're not living behind that three-point line. It was out of character for them. Tonight, they're getting to the line rather than launching threes.
Mike Bibby is 3 of 11. A 3 by Christie. A Kevin Garnett rebound. He's got 19 tonight. He is putting in a defining performance in a game 7.
This is where you need the crowd. You're tired. This is where they energize you.
And Garnett looking for Hassel. Shot clock at 2 for Sprewell. Violation. And a timeout will be taken. The Kings will have it when we come back.
Two and a half minutes away from Minnesota advancing to the Western Conference Final. Out of that last timeout, Flip Saunders emphasized that we have to stop the three-point shooters, get stopped, stay aggressive. Wally Zerbiak said, if you have the open shot, guys, take it.
Here's Bibby for 2. Garnett wrestles down his 20th rebound. Miller rips it away in a jump ball.
Now this is, excuse me, Kevin, this is an important call because Kevin Garnett should get this tap. So he's got to look around now, get 2 guys together and tip the ball, but the ball is knocked loose here and he stays with it. He doesn't quit on the play. The jump ball is called. Garnett should get this, which gives them a possession. Mike Bibby now 3 of 12 from the floor.
Sacramento cut the lead to 2, 66-64 with 8 minutes left in the game, and Minnesota has gone on a 13-6 run, stretching that lead to 9. Kevin Garnett and Sam Cassell have scored all of Minnesota's second half points, 17 of them. Garnett 13 of the 17.
2 minutes remaining.
The shot clock is at 4 for Sprewell. Rebound by Weber. Lead pass and fast break points to Christie.
See, Cassell got buried on the baseline. He's got to get back. That shot goes up. He's buried in the corner. We're going to take a timeout here. I think they've called an offensive foul on Sam Cassell, pushing off on Christie. Cassell has got to step away. He's had 2 technical fouls in the last 3 games. He cannot lose his cool now. But the shot is taken. Sam doesn't get back, and then he pushes off on Christie. How quickly these games change. The games are, I mean, Kevin, you got to play out every possession. We've seen the Lakers win a game at 0.4 of a second on Fisher's shot. This game is not over until that clock winds down to 0-0.
Brad Miller, Mike Bibby for 3, and the Kings to within 4 with 1:40 to play in regulation.
Sam Cassell's got to be very careful there. He's very stiff, and he's having a struggle with Doug Christie. He's got to stop fighting him off the dribble.
Hassel is in for Serbia. Garnett. Shot clock at 4. And a turnover. Number 17 for Minnesota.
See, if you're Flip, you'd like to have Zerbiak on the floor for offense and Hassel for defense. That time he got caught with Hassel on the floor.
Weber and Miller, and knocked away with another jump ball. Irvin Johnson with the defense.
See, just subtle little things. It looked like Brad Miller had a layup, and Irvin Johnson got beat off the dribble. He didn't stop playing. Garnett came over to help him, and then he came over to help Garnett. That's good team defense. And once again, a jump ball is important. You don't see that many jump balls in a game. Flip Saunders with the reaction, but Urban Johnson should control this tip, which is very important right now. Gets him 24 seconds on the clock. Oh, Brad Miller quick jumped him and stole that tip.
It's Bibby in the lane and scooping it to Weber. And missing from point-blank range. Oh, what a miss. That is a killer. And Christie's got the ball on a steal. And a foul on Sam Cassell.
I'm telling you, Sam is a big game player, but he's trying to do too much. With his back, he does not have the mobility. He's playing against a guy who's all-league defense. And you see Christie there with the long arms. He gets a turnover, and they call Sam jumping on the pile. Now, it's very important because he's going to be shooting free throws here.
That was the foul to give.
Foul to give, but still, they got time for 2 possessions. So that's a big turnover by Sam Cassell. And you can see what Peja has done in Game 7s. In LA, he was 3 for 12. Remember, he shot the air ball from the corner late in the game against Dallas. Tonight, 3 of 12. But he and Bibby are known for making big shots. Still plenty of time if you're Sacramento. You don't need a 3-point shot.
Kevin Garnett has taken the steal. And he stepped out of bounds because he was shoved, moving into the defense of Stojakovic, who picks up his 4th foul.
If Minnesota goes on to win this game, it's because this guy would not let his team lose. I mean, the big shots that he's come up with, the shot blocks, he had 13 straight points in the 4th quarter. The big steal there, we saw the challenge at the basket. If they go on to win, this is how you earn that MVP honor right here. This just validates the kind of season he has.
Look at all the minutes and the points and the rebounds. He now has added another steal onto that total. And Garnett, who has been a almost can't-miss 4th quarter free throw shooter in this series, has missed 2 4th-quarter free throws tonight.
That's fatigue. I mean, the guy has played tonight 45 minutes.
Garnett again. He's got a 14-point 4th quarter, was Kevin Garnett. Mike Bibby fouled on the perimeter.
Well, that's the last thing you wanted if you're Minnesota, because now there's a 2.9 differential. So if Bibby makes both of these free throws, they stop Minnesota. A 3-pointer then would tie the game. So that's the last thing you want to have is foul that with the shot clock now still that Minnesota has to shoot the basketball.
Bibby in this series against the Timberwolves shooting 92% from the free throw line. But the Kings tonight only 6 of 15 from the stripe.
Well, it goes back to, remember that fateful game against the Lakers. They missed 14 free throws in that game. Now the question's going to be, does Rick Adelman feel like the 2.9 is enough time to play the clock out, or is he going to take the foul? He has to make a decision as a coach. If we stop them, do we have enough time to score?
Bibby is 4 of 6 from the free throw line. 3-point game with just under 27 seconds left in regulation. That's our game reset with no fouls to give. With Doug Collins, Kevin Harlan, Timberwolves will be inbounding the ball.
Well, first of all, Flip Saunders, you got to get your most reliable guy to throw the ball in bounds. You've got a full timeout in the 20, so there should be no panic. Take your time. If you can't get it in, take another timeout. Question's going to be, is Rick Adelman going to foul, or is he going to try to play out? There's a 2.9 differential. Can you get a rebound, take a timeout, and then be able to get your 3-point shot, or are you going to foul and extend the game?
Weber is out there with Christie, Miller, Stojakovic, and Bibby. That is a Sacramento 5 on defense.
Now, Hoiberg has got a bigger man going on him trying to throw the ball, and you can't move. You cannot move or it's walking. It's walking out of bounds, so you've got to keep your position there, and you can throw the ball in the back court.
which they did, and that's retrieved by Sprewell. And quickly fouled. And Christie picks it up. He's got 4.
Now this is going to be interesting because Sprewell has missed some critical free throws late in games.
Tonight he is 0 of 1.
Just watch the guys' mannerisms at the line. Always watch if they're nervous, if they're antsy, if they're moving around. Do they stay in their routine? See them start tugging at the jersey. All signs that calm yourself down. You need one of these to push it to a 2-possession game.
17 of 23 from the line in the series. A reminder, the playoffs continue Friday night on TNT. It's Game 1, Western Conference Finals between the Lakers and the winner of this game between the Timberwolves and the Kings.
Remember, the Lakers used to be the Minneapolis Lakers. LA stole their team, so nothing much that they would love to do is to play them.
It's a miss, and it's a 4-point game. Bibby, Christie for 3, and it's a 1-point game with under 17 seconds to play in a Minnesota timeout. Doug Christie with a Kings-high 21 points.
Well, Sacramento attacking the open court, and Bibby, and I'm going to show you Hoiberg. Here he is right here, and Bibby's going to penetrate. He's playing against Doug Christie, and you've got to stay home in this situation on the 3-point shooter. Watch what happens on penetrate. He gives help. Look, he gets dragged into the lane. Now nobody guarding Christie, wide open. If you give up that 2, that doesn't hurt you nearly as bad. That 3 now changes this whole game.
The Timberwolves led by 9 with 3:10 left. The Kings have gone on a 10-2 run, cutting the lead to 1. Sacramento is led for only 64 seconds. It came late in the 3rd quarter.
Who's going to come get the ball in their hands to shoot the free throws?
It's Cassell, who tonight is 8 of 9 from the free throw line with 21, 5 fouls on Doug Christie. The series, Sam Cassell is 67% from the line. In the playoffs overall, 81%. So he has not shot well against the Kings in this series. Sacramento's got a timeout, a full. The Timberwolves have a 20.
See, Sacramento will be very interesting. Do they take their last timeout, or do they just push the ball ahead and try to get a quick score and save their timeout for another possession? We'll see if Rick Adelman uses his last timeout here.
Cassell in the 4th quarter from the free throw line, 5 of 5. It is a timeout for the Sacramento Kings with 16.2 to play. In this Game 7. Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller, Kevin Harlan, 16.2 to play. Minnesota by 3. The winner goes to the Western Conference Finals. Options for the Kings, who will inbound the ball.
Well, they're out of timeouts, but with 16 seconds, you can still get a quick 2, foul, and extend the game. There's enough time to do that, so they don't necessarily need a 3, but they love to run a play with Bibby and Stojakovic, a dribble handoff. Stojakovic coming off the dribble handoff, and they kick it back to him to shoot the 3 if that's the play they're going to run.
Christie to Tom. Caught by Miller. Rejected by Garnett.
See, Miller's got to kick that ball out. That's where you get a 3 on an offensive rebound. Do you foul? Do you foul and prevent them from shooting the 3?
Out of bounds, Sacramento's ball, 1.9.
Kevin, does Flip Saunders, when the ball is thrown in, take the foul so they can't get the 3 off? Remember, Sacramento, no timeouts.
We'll check the time on the clock.
2.2. We're taking 3 times off.
They've got 2-2 on there now, so they're about 0.3 of a second. Weber for the tie, and the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to the Western Conference Finals. Happy birthday, Kevin Garnett.
Kevin, I'll tell you how evenly balanced these two teams are. In the last 66 games that they've played going into tonight, they were 33 and 33 against each other. It goes down to a three-point shot by Weber to tie it. What a spectacular series. And look at KG, what a happy man, he and Latrell Sprewell.
The MVP and Latrell Sprewell are standing by with our Cheryl Miller.
KG, what a better way than to spend your 28th birthday advancing to the Western Conference. Describe what you're feeling right now.
I mean, it feels great to win, especially on my birthday. You know, 7 years I've been knocked out, and now we're going to the Western Conference Finals. And I feel pretty good.
Spree, you guys have been personally have been in Game 7s of this magnitude. How much did this team grow tonight?
I mean, our defense did it for us, no doubt about it. We didn't handle those situations as far as turning the ball over, but, you know, on the other end, we just, you know, stayed together, said, get stops, you know, Tiki carried us. It was his birthday. I mean, he stepped it up. That's why he's the MVP.
You know, at one time, Doug Collins didn't think that you had any energy left. You knocked down a three-pointer, you come up with a big steal. Where'd it come from? This is what you play all regular season for.
You know, my mom always tell me, sometimes heart just carries you through, and we're in no position to be tired. You know, we told Flip, hey, we was prepared to play 48 if we had to. Now it's time to focus on the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals.
You know, one thing that he said, the kid here said, before training camp, he just felt that this team was going to be special. Have you guys reached that point where you feel that this was a defining game for you guys?
I think definitely. This was a hard-fought game. Sacramento, I mean, they are an excellent team, and they move and cut, and they have excellent shooters. I mean, what can you say? We stuck together, though. Like I said, our defense did it, and Tiki carried us tonight. Sam got us off to a good start as well. So, I mean, with the injury that he has, you know, he toughed that out. So that's what it's all about.
All right, let me look at my watch, Big Ticket. You don't have a lot of time to celebrate this win as you advance. Absolutely. But talk about the matchup against the Lakers.
Very tough matchup. We know we got our hands full. We'll come in tomorrow, start prepared for that. But right now, we're going to just enjoy this. Everybody's going to try to get off their feet quick as possible and get ready for the Lakers tomorrow.
All right, congratulations, birthday boy.
I appreciate that.
All
Thank
right,
you.